ends. Without vision, the people perish. And without having within his own nature the achievement of the magnum opus, or the great work, it is impossible for man to direct nature, to control it, or to turn it to the fulfillments of its own purpose. Until man knows the end, he cannot lead nature to that end. Thus, in some mysterious way, the great experiment must first be performed in man and then in the world. These are the two great laboratories, the laboratory of the human soul and the laboratory of the cosmos. Whenever the rule is found actually and absolutely in one, it will be applicable to the other. For as Hermes Trismegistus has written, that which is above is the same as that which is below. That which is the lesser is the same as that which is the greater. For all things are bound together by the law of analogy. In this pattern, then, the search for the inward transmutation must be a search after a science of the handling, the directing, the multiplying, the expanding, the extending, and the transforming of light. This light must come into man, for this light must make reason possible to man. For reason is mind plus light. Love is heart plus light. Strength, even of body, is physical resource plus light. The mystical experience is dedication and devotion plus light. Light must always be the agent of all these things. And if this light be lifted up, it will draw all things to it. And this light is the light which cometh into the world, and lighteth every man who cometh into the world. So the problem, again, is the magnificent chemistry of light. Now, it is obvious that the Atwoods were moving very closely toward the Indian concept of yoga, that they were sensing the same light principle that is also to be found in Mahayana Buddhism. The world of the radiance of truth, the world of the eternal light in which all things live and move and have their being. Now, how is this light to be made available? The alchemist said that it had to be extracted from darkness. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. So the base substances seen in the alchemical retort have to do with light hidden in darkness. Just as gold is hidden in the base metals of the earth, just as the life which the small plant takes from the ground comes from the dark mother in which its roots are placed, so everywhere in the darkness of earth there is life, and this life makes things grow. And the vitality of life and nature must in some way be discovered and separated from darkness. It must be as in the opening chapters of Genesis, which according to Mrs. Atwood absolutely recapitulate the entire alchemical process, and that any chemist thoroughly understanding the first chapter of Genesis can actually transform base metals into gold, physically as well as spiritually. Because in this section is contained the summary of creation. And this summary of creation is the key to the continuance of creation. For in the world of the metals, creation is forever. In the world of God, creation is continuous. Creation is not something that started and then suddenly ceased and only the products went on. The very processes of Genesis are being repeated every instant and will be to the end of existence. For constantly creation is unfolding itself. Constantly, light is descending into darkness, and darkness, in its fullness of term, is releasing light again by the mystery of the second birth. So each person is searching for light. And how is he going to find it? How is he going to make this exploration into the dark mystery of base matter in order to extract light? In addition to light itself, what is the most common base matter of our existences? Not now in terms of physical materials, but in terms of that which we all have in common. One answer is that we all have the base material of living. Living is something that happens to everything that is alive. Everything that has life right in it lives. Therefore, living is in some way an unfolding of the life-light principle. So each person lives every day. He lives according to his knowledge, according to his insight or the lack thereof. He lives well or badly, according to his own instincts, his selfishness, his nature, and according to the mysterious impulses which plague his psychic integration. But there is this common matter of life or living, and we may call it experience. For experience is really nothing more than the gathering up of the treasures of the light. And these are the treasures which thieves cannot break in and steal, nor rust destroy. So each day, whether we are aware of it or not, we are experiencing something. And every experience is an experiment in light. Everything that happens to us has a light meaning, but this does not always mean that we know what that meaning is. But into our own reservoirs, our capacities, are stored away these works of the light. And Bacon refers to these also by the same general theme, the works of light. Now, the works of light in nature result in growth and purification. The works of light in the experience of man result in a form of knowledge, a form of self-education continuously going on in nature. Everything that man does teaches him something. Only unfortunately, man does not always know what he is taught. Therefore, he goes on experiencing much and learning comparatively little. But nature preserves, in the subconscious nature of man, that which he has learned. And this becomes, so to say, a supply of crude ore. This is the supply of impregnated material. For in experience, the gold of value is hidden within the darkness of ignorance. And in the alchemical tradition, a dragon was fashioned to symbolize this. And in the Greek legend, this dragon wound itself around the tree of life, on which hung the mysterious golden fleece. And it was to discover this golden fleece that Jason and the Argonauts made their great journey. And this was part of a ritual of initiation into the mysteries. So man's evolution, his process of existence down through time, has resulted in the gradual accumulation of a properly impregnated material. This material is in his memory. It is in his subjective thinking. It is in the background of everything that he is. This impregnated material is the basis of his career, his home, his business. It is the reason why he can pass an examination in school. It is the reason why he can fill out an application form when he wants a job. All of this building continuously of light in darkness leads us to the alchemical certainty that there is a continuous process going on in man in which the works of light are achieving victory over the works of darkness. And yet the light and the darkness are together, and they are not clearly divisible, as Bowlby points out. Somewhere the dawn or the break of the auroral light must come. And Mrs. Atwood looks to the Hermetic mystery to try to understand these wonderful occurrences. Taking the alchemical thinking again, you come to such problems, naturally, as faith, understanding, dedication, discipline. You find that in the Hermetic mystery there has to be some mysterious agent, the active agent of the stone. Now, the active agent of the stone is a kind of mordant. It is a catalyzing agent of some nature. And in alchemy, faith plays very much this part, because something has to stir this compound which lies in obscurity. Somewhere the Jason has to go forth and search for the golden fleece. Somewhere in man's nature there must gradually arise the conviction that there is a mystery, and that this mystery can be solved. In ancient times, education included the clear statement of this simple fact, but modern education no longer does include any intimation that there is a mystery, or that it can be solved, or that there is a road or a way that leads to the accomplishment of the universal medicine. So in the alchemical tradition, actually, strange names are given to familiar things. Yet these familiar things are not in themselves simple. They are not in themselves commonplace. We can say that it sounds much of a come-down that some elaborate alchemical material should turn out to be faith. But actually, we have no way of knowing the full dimension of faith. It is probably stronger and greater and more mysterious than any physical, chemical, or element we have ever explored. It is because certain words have lost their meaning, have lost their profundity, that we do not recognize the value of valuable words. And one of the most valuable of these words is in itself faith. Faith has some kind of a transmuting power in life. Faith releases light into the soul, even as doubt obscures light. Now in alchemy also, there is always the ancient master. Alchemy constantly refers to some strange, wandering adept, some deeply versed and secret one who possesses the knowledge. In the Paracelsian corpus, this is called Elias Artista, or Elias the artist, a kind of mysterious, immortal, wandering alchemist who never dies, who possesses the elixir of life, who has made the great transmutation and goes around the world forever, selecting dedicated and faithful disciples, visiting them in their laboratories and revealing to them the secrets of the arts when their own merits deserve such revelation. Who is the mysterious Elias Artista? The one master alchemist who never dies, who goes on and on, revealing to those who are ready the secret of the stone. One way of looking upon him is quite a simple way, and he is the alchemical tradition itself. He is the one who cannot die because he is a great conviction. He is a great mystery locked in human consciousness. But he appears only to those who are worthy. He makes himself known to the alchemist only when this alchemist has prayerfully dedicated